the top. Are you feeling me? She contra, baby. That's right. She got no love for me, and I'm the one to top the top.
Yeah, 너의 항해는 너무 뻔 근데 난 그 안에서 헤엄치면
The tension in the room was thick. As they stood facing each other, words hanging heavy in the air like a storm cloud waiting to break. "You can't keep doing this, Jimin," she said, her voice tinged with frustration and hurt, a bitter edge to his tone. "And what exactly am I doing wrong, huh? Trying to protect you? Keep you safe? Protect me?" Her anger flaring. "Is that what you call it? Keeping me locked up like some fragile doll while you go out and do God knows what?" His eyes flashed with indignation. "I do what I have to do to survive, to protect us both. You know that? But at what cost, Jimin? At the cost of our relationship?" Her voice cracked, tears to spill over. He took a step closer, his face contorted with frustration. "I didn't ask for this life, okay? But it's the only one I've got. And I'll be, if I let anything happen to you." She shook her head, her resolve hardening. "I can't do this anymore, Jimin. I can't live in fear, wondering if today's the day you don't come back." His expression softened, a flicker of regret in his eyes. "I never meant to hurt you. You know that, right? You mean everything to me." "Then prove it," she whispered, her voice barely audible over the pounding of her heart. "Prove that you love me enough to let me go." He reached out, his hand inches from her face, but she flinched away, unable to bear the weight of his. "Please," she pleaded, her voice barely a whisper. "Let me go." And in that moment, as the silence stretched between them, they both knew that their love was no match for the darkness that to consume them both. In the dimly lit room, shadows danced along the walls, casting an eerie ambience upon the space. The silence was palpable, broken only by the faint sounds of heavy breathing. She lay on the bed, her back turned away from the door, her palm in darkness. Tears streaked down her cheeks, a silent testament to the storm brewing within her. He stood by the doorway, his silhouette outlined against the faint light seeping in from the corridor. His jaw clenched with tension, his eyes reflecting a mixture of anger and frustration. He couldn't bear to see her cry, but neither could he bring himself to face the pain he had upon her. Their argument had escalated quickly, fueled by emotions that neither of them knew how to control. Words had been exchanged, wounds reopened, and now they stood on the precipice of uncertainty, teetering on the edge of despair. Unable to bear the sight of her tears any longer, he turned away, his footsteps echoing softly as he made his way out of the room. He didn't know where he was going or what he hoped to achieve by leaving her alone, but he couldn't stay, not when the weight of his guilt to him. Left alone in the darkness, she hugged herself tightly, trying to. The chill that had settled in her bones. Anger still within her, a fiery ember that refused to be. But beneath it lay a deep well of sorrow and regret. Minutes turned into hours as she lay there, lost in the labyrinth of her thoughts. She didn't know how long she had been lying there when she felt the bed tip beside her, the mattress sinking under the weight of another. Startled, she turned her head, her heart pounding in her chest. In the dim light, she saw him, his features obscured by shadows, his presence both comforting and unsettling. "What are you doing?" she questioned, her voice barely above a whisper. He didn't reply immediately. Instead, his cold hand resting gently on her waist. "And sleep," he murmured softly, his breath warm against. She remained silent, her mind a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. And then she felt it. Planted tenderly on her temple, a silent apology spoken in the language of, "I loved you. I am sorry," he whispered, his voice heavy with remorse. A small smile tugged at her as she closed her eyes, a single tear escaping down her cheek. "I loved you more. I am sorry too," she whispered back, her words a vow of forgiveness and understanding. And so, in the darkness of the night, entwined in each other, molded together in an embrace born of love and pain. And as sleep finally claimed them both, they found solace in each other, their hearts beating as one in the silence of the night.
날 손잡고 손으로 들어가고 싶어. 네가 고민으로 나는 없이 물속에서 하고 싶어.